Over 100 years ago, the Indiana legislature chose, on the banks of the Wabash, far away, to live forever as Indiana's state song. Its lyrics capture the feelings that the people of Indiana have about their river, the Wabash, that enters the state at its eastern border and exits nearly 500 miles away at its southwestern tip. A river that flows past fields of grain and busy cities, simple cottages and stately mansions, through sunshine and rain, good times and bad, day and night.
Oh, the moonlight's fair tonight along the Wabash. From the fields there comes the breath of newborn hay. Through the sycamores the candlelights are gleaming on the banks of the Wabash.
The composer of Indiana's state song, Paul Dresser, was born in Terre Haute in 1858. He wrote it 39 years later while living far away in New York City. By that time, he had become one of the most celebrated songwriters in the nation. In March of 2013, 100 years after On the Banks of the Wabash Far Away became our state song, the Indiana legislature reaffirmed the song's importance, and they voiced their support for a sculpture to honor it, a sculpture entitled A Song for Indiana that would be erected in Terre Haute by Art Spaces as a part of the Wabash Valley Outdoor Sculpture Collection. To find the artist who would create the sculpture, Art Spaces conducted an international search. Artists from as far away as the Philippines submitted proposals. 4 finalists were asked to submit small-scale models known as maquettes. The maquette chosen was by a sculptor from Terre Haute, Teresa Clark. It was her sensitive approach that earned her the commission, an approach that recognized the composer, the river, and, of course, the song. Next, Teresa began the process of enlarging the maquette into a full-size sculpture.
I want people to approach it. That's part of why I designed it the way I did. I made these bigger areas here that will first pull their eye and they want to walk closer to see what it is. Then the reliefs will be more obvious. But from a distance, you might not see those as clearly. So it can be interacted on in various levels. And that kind of thing is important to me in art too. Well, sometimes I feel I'm as much, you have to think as much as an engineer as an artist. You have to think through, at least for me, I think through all the processes of where it's going next, the different stages it has to go, what's going to cause difficulty, or like, going in public, what's going to be dangerous or something that's not going to hold up long term. Art makes the world. I think art makes the beauty, the interest, it adds imagination and makes people think. It talks to people. So to imagine a space, or especially a town, without art, it would just be, I can't. So I was not native to here. So moving here, I was very impressed with the support of the arts here. The organizations such as Art Spaces that works hard to continue to add art to the town. Just like this shipping thing, I've been in my head thinking of that for the last month or two, thinking, okay, how is it that's going to be, I haven't had to ship too many of my own pieces.
Once the model was completed, it was taken to the foundry. Given the sculpture's size, transportation was challenging and sometimes frightening. The large sculpture was broken down and cast into many smaller pieces that were then expertly welded together. Once completed, the fragile clay will be transformed into a bronze sculpture that can last literally for centuries. At last, the sculpture is ready to return to Terre Haute. From discussions of how to honor Indiana's state song, to raising funds, to creating the sculpture, has taken 3 years. Now it's time to install a song for Indiana on the foundation at its permanent home on the banks of the Wabash. Finally, the sculpture is ready for its coming out party, the dedication at which the sculpture will greet its public for the first time.
Please join me in welcoming Teresa Clark and her unique and beautiful sculpture, A Song for Indiana, into the Art Spaces collection.
Thank you, Barry. First of all, I'm so honored to be the one that was chosen for this project. As you already have heard, I'm not native to Terre Haute, but when I first moved here to the work for the sisters, I thought maybe I'd be here a year and then move somewhere else. But I grew quickly to love Terre Haute, and 9.5 years later, I'm still here. It's become home. And
many residents of Terre Haute and the Wabash Valley gather to celebrate and to share their pride in A Song for Indiana.
Let's fair tonight along the Wabash. From the fields there comes the breath of new mown hay. Through the sycamores the candle lights are gleaming on the banks of the Wabash far away.
While this sculpture is an important addition to the Art Spaces collection, it is also an historical reminder that adds texture and richness to the legacy of our vibrant community. Paul Dresser's On the Banks of the Wabash Far Away has been immortalized by the state of Indiana, and now, thanks to A Song for Indiana, we will always remember the man, the song, and the beautiful natural resource that inspired it, the Wabash River.
Far away. Oh, the moonlight's fair tonight along the Wabash. From the fields there comes the breath of newborn hay. Through the sycamores the candlelights are gleaming on the banks of the Wabash.